Hey everyone, Claymore here again. We're here at the park enjoying the fresh air, and we're supposed to go walking, but the place is too nice to miss for an opportunity to shoot about knives, of course. So what knives are we gonna showcase today? How about this one? The Spyderco Paramilitary 2, my collection. Gave me a full-blown addiction to it. So let's start with this one. This is the regular release in S30V DLC blade, black G10, all blacked out. For this one I installed a deep carry MXG pocket clip in black Cerakote, right, the generic one. Next up is another regular release. This one is also an S30V in satin blade and in DG camouflage G10 scales. Difference is that I wanted to match the pattern on the scales. That's why I did acid etch on the blade and stonewashed it. And I put on a deep carry pocket clip from Lynch in OD green Cerakote. This is just an ordinary S30V, but nothing like it. Now let's put these ones here. That's two. Here's another regular release, the one in S35VN blade steel satin and in brown G10 scales. But this one I did a copper wash on it, right, and I left it too long in the solution, and I left the battery going, and when I returned, this is how it looked. It's got some purple hue in it, and it looks kind of a rusty blade, but it matches the scales. And so I put on a Lynch deep carry pocket clip, and I also flame anodized this one, and it gave me this kind of rusty color also. So I put on this one so that it would match. Not so ordinary looking now, is it? Let's put it here. Here's another regular release. This one is in S110V. This originally got a blurple scales, so they call this the blurple. I changed the scales with natural linen micarta, but eventually I did not like the pale color, so I had to dip it in fabric dye, and this was the result. Still a blurple to me. S110V. What do we have here? This is a Lynch deep carry pocket clip, stonewash finished, which I flame anodized, and it gave me this result. Okay. A limited release in 52-100 blade steel. Now 52-100 is an interesting steel because this is a very hard tool steel, but it's not rust proof, so it's prone to patina. So what I did is to force a patina on it using yellow mustard. I hope you can see clearly the patterns that I was able to create on this one. Interesting blade steel if you want to do some artworks in acid wash or mustard edge. And then I changed the grip scales with Flytanium brass scales. Now this one is pretty hefty already. I think this would be like 7 ounce if I got it correctly. It used to have the Peel Fly carbon fiber scales, which is much lighter than this one, but I like the color of the brass. It's gonna patina over time. Wow, I have a Lynch deep carry pocket clip. This used to have the bronze anodization, and I flame anodized it, and I got this result. Next up is the Maximate. Used to have the gray G10 scales. I changed it with Flytanium titanium scales, the grooved one. I wasn't contented, and I did an acid etch on this one and stonewashed it to give this interesting abstract pattern on it. It used to have the autograph of Eric Glazer. Now I can't make it already because of the pattern that I created. I put on a deep carry pocket clip from Lynch with black Cerakote. Smooth as ever. Next up is the 2018 Forum knife. This one comes in S90V blade steel. The thing about this is that it came with G10 scales and with this metal medallion. It received a lot of hate because it kind of looked obnoxious, as they say. I share the same opinions. What I did is I gave it a splatter paint of white and black in order to drown this pattern. So with this interesting pattern on it, it's not too obvious already. This medallion, I mean, that's what they say. I think it looks much better this time. Black deep carry pocket clip from Lynch with black Cerakote. Let's go to the sprint runs. This is a recent one. This one is the S45VN steel satin blade with the, they call this the diamond arc G10 scales, a foliage green. The thing is that these scales would match, or I mean looks exactly as the same as that of the 204P. So what I did is gave it a little red dye dip, and now it's kind of blue-green color already. The blade, I gave it a copper wash. I like the combination of the dark green and copper. Deep carry pocket clip from Lynch in bronze anodization. Another sprint run. This is the Crewwear gray G10, and what I did on this one is that I gave it an acid etch. Interesting pattern, just like a cobblestone. I call this the Thing because it looks like the Thing of the Fantastic Four. Deep carry pocket clip from Lynch in blue anodization, and then I had to do a pattern, re-anodize it for this abstract pattern. The blue hue on this one is from mustard. I also applied mustard on this one. Another sprint run, a very rare one. Took me some time to be able to acquire this, and then finally I got this sexy Rexy. This one is in CPM Rex 45 blade steel burnt orange G10 scales. I put on a deep care pocket clip from Lynch, also in ice blue anodization. I gave it a mustard edge patina. It looks like reptile scales. Pretty rare one. One of the pricier PM2 that I got. Now let's go to the exclusives. Let's start with this one. This is the Bento box exclusive in K390 blade steel. There. K390 patinas very well, very easily, so I gave it a little my touch. That's some kind of a wave or lightning bolt. I don't know how to describe this one. It looks cool. It's got a bluish accent to it. So this is in Ranger green G10 scales, and I installed a Lynch Deep Care pocket clip in OD green Cerakote. Pretty tough knife from Bento box. Here's another one from Bento box, a pretty looking one in Smurf blue. They always call this Smurf blue because it looks the same blue as of those Smurf little guys. I chose the DLC, and this is in M390. Factor that I chose this DLC over the satin is that the contrast between the black and the vibrant blue. I gave it a deep carry pocket clip from Lynch in black Cerakote. One of the more good looking ones in my PM2 collection. Here's another M390, but this one is from DLT. This was my first exclusive, and I thought that I'm already good with one PM2 because I got a very nice one in M390 red G10 scales, which is my favorite. But obviously that didn't happen. It's got a deep care pocket clip from Lynch in polished finish. Okay. Another one from DLT. This is the 20CV in satin with tan scales. I gave it a red deep carry pocket clip from Lynch, and because I saw that it's got a very nice contrast with the tan scales, I decided to have the hardware Cerakoted to match the clip. I think it looks cool. Here's an interesting one. This is another 20CV from Knife Joy. I call it the zombie green. I believe this was the first in the Philippines. I gave it a deep carry pocket clip, which I flame anodized and gave me a hue of violet and other mixture of colors, blue and green. So some guys call this the Joker because of the color combination. Cool knife indeed. This is a very rare one. This is the Blade HQ exclusive in DLC CPM M4 blade with G10 scales. This is the PM2 that got me into the craze of collecting exclusives. I used to have only this M390, and then one local collector decided to sell this one to me, and it kind of kicked off my addiction to the PM2. Came already with the black Cerakoted deep carry pocket clip. Here's another exclusive from Knifeworks. Now this came with the peel ply carbon fiber scales. This one also came from the guy that sold me the Blade HQ exclusive. So this is another M4 but in satin, and what I did is give it a forced patina using mustard, vinegar, and some lemons. I wanted to match the pattern on the carbon fiber scales with blade steel, so I don't know, that's how it look right now. By the way, it's got a Lynch deep care pocket clip. They call this the toxic green. Here's another bloody rare one. This is the Knifeworks exclusive in 204p, CTS 204p. I got this from another local collector. Decided to let it go, so I had to grab it. I gave it a Lynch deep care pocket clip, which I also flame anodized to give me this interesting pattern. A rare one. Now this is my priciest PM2. Because of the rarity, I had to pay a good amount to be able to land this one in the Philippines. So this one is the Cutlery Shop exclusive in DLC blade, CTS XHP blade steel. I put on a black cerakoted Lynch deep carry pocket clip. Look at the contrast. I chose the DLC over the satin, although the satin is more rare, but the contrast of the black and bright orange is a better looking one for me. Next up would be the Scorpion, they say. This is from REC, River's Edge Cutlery exclusive in CPM 10V. I am not sure if this is also the first one that landed here in the Philippines. A couple of guys from here have acquired this one already. It's very interesting. This one's a black DLC blade, which I also preferred over the satin because of the contrast of the black against the coyote brown. Yep, pretty one. And here's a very interesting one. This is the St. Nick's exclusive in CPM 4V. I really love the combination of the black and red, so when this was announced that it's about to be released, I was really hoping that I would get one, and with help from some of my friends, I succeeded in getting one. The first one in the Philippines, right? Deadpool. I put on a black cerakoted Lynch deep care pocket clip. Neat and pretty. St. Nick's exclusive. Last but not the least is the Blade Ops exclusive. Now this is the different one among the bunch because this one has the Emerson wave, right? This is just an S30V blade in satin, and yeah, the black G10 scales, which to me is kinda too boring. So what I did is modify the grip scales. I didn't want to buy more aftermarket grip scales, so I just did what I had to do to make it look different. I sawed off the surface of the scales and then I sprayed it with acrylic, chose yellow for bright contrast, and then I sanded off the top of the scales in order to remove the yellow paint and just leave the ones that are in the grooves. For the blade, I did an acid etch on this one to match the patterns on the grip scales. Right. A very different PM2, made more different with Claymore touch. Okay. So these are my Spyderco Paramilitary 2 collection, 22 of them. I don't wanna compute how much money I spend on these things, but I got no regrets. I've always said that in every last purchase I would say this will be my last purchase, and then here comes another exclusive, then I make an order. But then I got no regrets. I have the Blade HQ in Rex 45 with copper scales coming. The recently released Tanto version I also ordered, but it would take a month to get here in the Philippines. So, but hey, I don't know what's my chances with that purple crewwear that is about to be released also. So I don't know. It's gonna keep on growing and growing until I'm totally broke. Spyderco PM2 is indeed my favorite knife, because look at them. That's the most knife model that I have compared to other knife brands and models that I have. I believe this is a very pretty good looking knife. In the looks department, this is top notch for me. And my friends are asking me, why do I buy the same knives, just different colors, different, different materials in these scales? That I guess they will never understand. If you're not a knife guy, you would not understand our craziness. Alright, so to the PM2 fanboys out there, let's just continue this craze. Right, have a good one, everyone.